Come one, come all to see the worst team comp ever imaginable in Valorant history. Not. 10 months ago, I broke down this abomination of a game plan run by Talon Esports. They got embarrassed, sat down, and spat on by DRX losing 13-3. But now, Paper Rex are running 3 duelists in a match that can decide whether or not they make it to Masters Madrid? Are they stupid?
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
What did Paper X discover that has enabled them to do what no other team has done before? Well, in this video, you're about to find out why running this many duelists isn't troll, and how these titans are reinventing the way Valorant's played. Oh no. No, don't tell me, I can't do this again. I can't. Ow! Sorry, I've just seen this comp get absolutely smashed before, and I like Paper X. I don't want to see him get hurt. But they are one of the most insane teams in Valorant history, and have always come up with cuckoo comps that just somehow end up working. So, let's see if they've cooked up. They aren't off to that bad of a start. Pistol was super close, and then expectedly lost the eco. Now this round is extremely important. Paper X's comp is horrible on defense, but extremely attack-sided. So any rounds they can get on this half can mean life or death. They're set up with 2 fighting for B main, Jett contesting mid, and these 2 are starting A. We'll talk about Viper's super secret wall tech next round, but Yoru has sent his gate crash across the map, ready to respond to whatever T1 throw at them. They're positioned in a 2-2-1 default, but whoa! Hold on a second. Let's rewrite this title card. This ain't no bonus. Normally, after you win pistol, your team buys up to mid-tier weapons while the enemy saves, and on round 3, you use whatever weapons are left over as a bonus. But T1 understands that the op is Paper X's major weakness, so they're forcing up, hoping to win this round and snowball their economy early. With this op, their plan is to spread the map thin, wait for Paper X to peek into them, since that's the only way they can gather info and pick them apart. The defense make an early statement by flashing, one-waying, and trading up boombots with T1. This comp needs to fight. Every inch of map control is vital to them, as they don't have drones or bots that'll gather them crucial info that make sure their rotates are in the right spots at the right times. The only drones they have are the ones built into their heads. So Monnier taps the orb, testing the offense for a potential punish. But T1 are sticking to their guns, literally, and know that eventually Paper X will have to peek into them. Similar to how an invading army will lay siege to a city, they'll surround them and cut off their access to vital resources, eventually starving them, forcing them to surrender. That's what T1 are doing to Paper X. No peeking means no info means bad defense, and bad defense means T1 wins. So they wait some more, until the defense get bored in B and are worried that the attackers have lurked up behind their wall and orb over on A. Forsaken goes to help Viper, and Mindfreak reinforces something with a dark cover. But T1 noticed there's a small gap in the smoke, so Sire Player and Carpe move up to get a closer look.
I really like the patience, I really like the discipline we're seeing. This early operator could be very, very challenging for Paper X to deal with.
Trailblazer once again. For to scout out through fence, swinging on the operator.
Wow. Sire Player has some really big cojones to go for this peek before popping his dash. But this confident kill speaks volumes to the struggles that Paper X are going to have to deal with on this half. Without proper reconnaissance, Paper X themselves are forced to become drones. Normally, with an initiator like Sky, Sova, or Fade, you can use your scans to have accurate rotates in time to contest and execute, or have an idea of what spots on the map are open, closed, which ones you need to take, the things like that. But the only scouting they have is a 5-second boombot, which unfortunately for my relationship isn't that long. So unless the defense want to guess where the attackers are headed, or just get run over on sites, they need to use their guns to get them info. But peeking into an op, that's a recipe for disaster. So as long as Sire Player is thorough and is slicing the pie properly, this sniper is going to farm. And this first blood was just the start of a disastrous domino effect for the defense. They lost mid, so Monnier comes over to try and take some space.
Into the corner, and
now it's Mindfreak's turn.
Dinked right through the corner of the wall. Mindfreak still taking forward spot, and not.
T1 are just so ready for these peaks, as they understood that as soon as the game started, that Paper X were going to have to come to them with this team comp. The remaining defenders don't want to keep giving T1 freebies and elect to save. Paper X take a timeout to figure out what they're doing. Guys, we need to be careful about our peaks. We're playing against an op. One wrong step, and you're toast.
Oh, no worry, coach. We peek good and smart. We get kills a lot. Ooga booga.
Because they lost their first gun round, Paper X were forced to half-buy. But whatever they came up with in their timeout worked. T1 still hung back and knew that the defense were going to peek into them again. But in their timeout, Paper X talked about simply delaying their pushes into the late round. By swapping up their timings, this would force T1 to always be ready for a swing at any time, which isn't easy. So, in response to losing this third of the map, T1 tried to take B main, but Monyet's Bucky beat them back. Then Rossi didn't feel comfortable getting double peeked in mid, so he fell back, and allowed Something to sit here and watch this line. A was clear, mid was clear, so B was the offense's only option.
They cannot go in women, guys.
20 seconds.
So BB, so BB.
They're going soon.
Out, out.
In. Two more race.
One more, Viper.
Nice one!
Yeah.
That Thrifty brings us here, where we finally see the one glimmer of hope in this team comp's defense. They're set up in a 2-2-1 formation, ready to contest mid or ramp with just a quick zip on the ropes, while the anchors bunker down their respective sites. But T1 are switching gears and are taking ramp quick. Izu double satchels up ramp, behind a flash, stun, and smoke. But Paper X respond to this emergency by sliding down ropes, and Viper deploys her toxic screen.
Izu maybe just gaining space initially.
Fast jump across. There's the flash, turns away from that one. Izu, surprisingly, both managing to take down Forsaken and Something. Now the showstopper into play.
If you look closely, Paper X actually pinched ramp. Viper wasn't anchoring site. I mean, she could, but her wall enabled her to collapse on a ramp while still being ready to be used for multiple purposes. 1. She can throw it up and hold her ground on site behind this poison orb, forcing the offense to go through multiple layers of decay before finally getting to her. 2. She can get off site so that later you can use it as a retake wall by scaling out, dropping it, and fighting. Or 3, which is the coolest, pinch ramp with your Vents players. When laid out like this wall has a tiny incy-wincy gap, perfect for one person to sneak behind enemy lines and backstab the attackers. So while Monier shot Carpe in the back late through Vents, Devi would have cleaned up. But, ooh, nice shot by the way. Devi would have had him too. But Raze whips out a showstopper and turns towards screens, thinking to herself, since T1 lost all of heaven, the offense need to make a play and must have taken this space.
Showstopper at the ready, spots Izu for a moment, will be able to take him down.
After all the commotion, Paper X have finally secured heaven, but there's one more issue. Rossi started the round miles away from his team to lurk up late and punish Paper X for not running a sentinel, and he did. Now with this position and so much time left on the clock, Rossi's playbook is endless. He can go through vents, sneak his way into CT spawn, or he can wrap sewer. And with only 2 sets of eyes, there's only so much space that Paper X can watch. They post up on vents first, as that's the closest option Rossi had, but then both defenders head towards spawn, as that would be the second closest if he whipped his knife out and ran. Monyet boombots vents just to be safe, but each team is playing patient, waiting to run into the other. Paper X eventually drop back towards screens, and jiggle each potential option wanting to deal with Rossi together. But time is winding down. Rossi has no other option but to walk up heaven, scoop up the spike, and go. He gets the plan off with mere milliseconds to spare, but his job isn't done yet. If Rossi decides to just sit back site and wait for Paper X to come to him, he's going to get traded and lose. So he steps into spawn, looking to make a play.
Spot again, HP bars here on the players of Paper X. So
City.
very low. Down to buy now. Looking to push the corner. Rossi turning away from it.
Nice! What the f***? I hit in air!
No, he was in heaven, just now. I
I
also.
had in air.
After taking down Raze, it took forever for Devi to swing because of their poor spacing. So Viper thought to herself, where is he? That dude is such a bait. But in the end, it was this quick and responsive heaven pinch that won Paper X another vital round of defense. Guys, we need to have a talk. There have been a lot of you bombarding the comment section, asking me if I'm ever going to do coaching. And I would love to, but there's also a lot of you who watch my videos. Like a lot. So I came up with the next best thing. I started a Patreon. By becoming a Brain Bud, you'll unlock a ton of bonus exclusive Teets content. I'm talking map-specific agent tier lists, my pick'ems and Q&A videos, access to Discord channels where you can talk directly to me, permission to join in on breakdowns that I do live in my server, and a lot more. But my favorite, and I think best feature, is access to my collection of handmade duos playbooks, each of which have been designed by yours truly and are full of VCT level plays that you and your duo can abuse in your rank games for free RR. I literally walk you through each step of the play and explain to you what to do with each piece of your utility and how to maximize its value. It's like having me in your ear live during ranked. So if you want to support me, these expensive ass videos, and have an advantage over your opponents, go check out my Patreon. I've created all this brand new extra content and I'd love for you to check it out. Please, I'm begging. After that round, PaperX slipped to a 2-6 deficit as the op and starvation of info continually gave them headaches. But they ended 4-8 thanks to a nasty retake and a good anchor job from Devi, which punished a poor execute from T1. But now, it's time to eat. This comp goes to town on attack side, being able to make more space than the Milky Way. Oh boy, this pistol round is going to be good. All 5 monsters are ready to pounce on A site. Sky is so done for.
First pistol round went the way of T1. They double up in those figures here as
Blinded.
flash over the top. Carpe getting some information, but not quite as tell-all as they would like. Gate crash in the meantime set up just alongside that screen's entry. Forsaken winning the opening fight. Gets the catch onto Carpe, swoops through, trying to spot the rest of the site. Now they know that it's clear.
Oh, okay.
What's wrong, Teets?
Nothing, PaperX Dinosaur. I just, with 5 duelists, I expected, fast, explosive, and cool. And not so much a contact play. Well, but I think Sky did as well, because you can't blame her. This comp does give off major aggressive vibes. Carpe probably thought that it was just Viper walking behind this wall, not 4 players. But looking back on it, this hit would have been sick with more defenders here, as Jett and Raze flew out of heaven, pinching site with their paranoia from main. And Yoru had his gate crash here for a potential 3-person crunch, but he didn't feel like it was necessary. Now, since T1 lost all of heaven, Raze, Viper, and Astra all pushed through sewer, while Jett slowly takes vents. But with his teammates pushing spawn, Omen gets a weird feeling to go check sewer.
Raze don't have net anymore.
One
Okay,
sewer.
Coming.
Coming.
Get out.
Akan.
Push coming through.
Defend heaven.
Wala.
Izu able to take him down.
They're gonna come through smoke.
Watch city there, watch city. Akan net. Heaven one. Dead, heaven dead. I'm ready.
Nice guys. Last guy there.
Come Ram.
Be able to take down
Drop
Should be
down,
Ram.
hold on.
It's just now
Hold down.
Rossi trying to see if he can get anything done. Time
60.
Headshot eventually just managed to stabilize.
Yeah,
Fire
don't
not
dive.
yet, but still a lot more
Yeah.
work.
Nice, boys. Let's go.
Forsaken spanned one of the flankers through the smoke. Sire player used the attention his teammates were grabbing to backstab Yoru. Monyet got his trade, and something killed Excurate, who pushed through Viper's wall that helps them in the post plant, which left Rossi with no time. The anti-eco lasted 8 seconds.
Okay, bye.
Side, race side. Race how?
Dead.
Nice, boys.
Sedap.
With that out of the way, PaperX are slamming A again. And why does Yoru look so weird? Is it a new haircut? That's strange. They're prioritizing ramp again, but aren't contacting. Now, the defense have a potent Viper Raze combo on A this time, paired with 2 Astra Stars and a Viper Wall. It's going to be hard to get in. Monyet explodes past the buy phase by satching up ramp, along Sky to Sky Oh, I get it now. With the recent Sky nerfs, PaperX have kicked her out in place of Yoru, who can throw flashes similar to hers, but better. Yoru's blindsides are silent but deadly, as you never know when they're going to hit you until it's too late. And come to think of it, Yoru is more of an initiator than he is a duelist. His decoy gathers info when the enemies shoot at it, he can flash across long distances, and his ult is like a Sova drone, but on mega ultra steroids. And this is how a triple duelist comp works. Some of them aren't really duelists, but secretly initiators as well. A quick pause. Also, in an interview after this game, PaperX's coach literally said that his team hated the way Sky felt after her nerfs, so they did what any reasonable team would do. They picked up Yoru. Now with their new blue-haired initiator backing them up, something takes to the skies.
Yeah, just taking a little bit of space early. Not gonna be contested. Izu! Oh, he's ready for it.
Yeah, just rushes up, does take a little bit of spam damage there from Monyet, but
I'm sorry, guys. This isn't my voiceover voice anymore. This is just Teets talking. but Riot is absolutely killing me without a replay system. It's already hard enough dealing with 4 different regions, then Tier 2 coming up pretty soon alongside Masters Madrid. The schedule's killing me. There's no replay system, so I have to sit here and guess where utility's going, where flashes are going, how things are being used. And my videos in life would just be so much easier if we had a replay system to use. So yeah, I just had to put this in here. I'm pretty sure Yoru tried flashing for Jett after hitting this one for Raze on ramp, but I have zero clue where it landed. Maybe it hit Rafter since Omen blinded deeper, so that Jett could dash safer and pinch ramp? I mean, that would have been sick. I even watched every attack round they played against Gen G with this comp, but I couldn't find it. So let's just pretend the flash went into one of these spots. Regardless, PaperX have been shut down by this Viper util, and don't feel safe to keep pushing. They decide to cut noise for now and come up with a plan.
Oh, what we do?
Do peek?
No. No peek now.
Peek later. Defense think we leave and come check.
Then hit hard.
Booga booga.
Eh, Mark
Nice, Low, nice. Coba sekarang geser Valti. Go to side together.
What the? Why? T1's initiator is in mid, with a lot of utility left, and it hasn't been that long. They know where the attackers have to be, so why are we swinging into the duelists? Especially all from the same angle. Regardless, with these gifts, Forsaken hops into his dimensional drift and completely scans the site and even spawn, clearing everything out. Once he's done, Carpe creeps out of vents, takes down Devi, but he gets traded out by Mindfreak, who wrapped ramp because Forsaken planted for site, Heaven, and main. Can Rossi win this one? No. PaperX slammed A again against the Eco, and are now flipping the script, hitting B, expecting that T1 are going to put more resources towards the other site. And look at the map. They'd be right. But what is Yoru doing that far back in spawn?
They do it all the damn time.
I mean, just look at this, though. The conditioning, they go over to the A side consistently.
Heaven.
Nice.
Hey, give me plan.
May insok, insok. Nice.
Kasih gua plan, San.
Over to the third.
Dude, that hit was sick, but it's too bad we couldn't see half of it. The reason why Yoru was playing in spawn was because this guy was launching flashes over site so his team can hit site easier. But once again, I have zero idea where these things went. But if you look at his utility bar, he did throw them from back here. Now, because they smoke site like this, and Jett and Raze had a dirty double high-low entry combo off Nubox, I'm assuming the flash went into one of these spots to set them up. Thanks, Riot. But even with this initial distance, Yoru was still kind of there for the execute. His decoy should have been a Riot shield for Omen, but maybe he was going to TP into this smoke, but didn't because the decoy straight off to the right, or maybe not because after clearing backside, Jett and Raze pivoted this way to come clear it out with him and their boombot. It's hard to tell, but this Yoru pseudo-initiator game plan seems pretty legit so far. Anywho, the troll comp has taken the site by trading evenly, but Devi gets one by abusing T1's weakness this time. The one agent the defense are missing is a Sentinel, so lurking against a comp like this is going to be super effective. And now with this kill, PaperX's win condition turns into a game of stall. The longer that these two can stay alive and buy Viper time to reposition, the higher chance they're going to win. Now, it's easy for us to see, but T1 have so much to worry about. At any given moment, Viper can move up mid and backstab them during their retake. Or she doesn't have to do anything at all. She can just sit back and regroup with her teammates and be main. It's this constant pressure that's going to close out this round for PaperX. So T1 start to scale out of heaven with their op.
Trying to go for this.
But Meunier responds by whipping out a showstopper, not only forcing T1 to back off, but also allowing Devi to safely make his way back into B main. But to the defense, he can be anywhere. Rossi waits for the heaven swing that isn't coming, and after just showing himself in heaven, Saya player repositions into spawn.
Oh, pilas.
Now it's Saya versus Monyet, the lob in on the paint shells. The zone him out, he's swinging around the back.
Let's go.
Come on, Jack. Come on, Jack.
Man!
Against the half-buy, PaperX slammed B again, which, if this comp were to be good at anything, it's this.
Stack push from T1. Everybody just fanned out across the map, playing this one out very patiently.
Man, look how deep this star is.
There's a jump in.
Oh my god.
The timing of the flash, absolutely gorgeous. Next year, it's still able to find Monyet, but Forsaken.
Normally, the reason why teams run double Duelist is because it's extremely flexible, allowing you to hit either site relatively easily, get out of chokes quick, and as long as you're proactive on defense, you're fine. But take out your Sky, for a Yoru, and your B hits become 100 times stronger, while everything else insanely weaker. But by being able to teleport backside, you create a whole nother area that defenders need to worry about while being chased down by Raze or Jett. Or what Yoru did here was have his gate crash ready to go inside Jett's Cloudburst. I'm telling you, B-side just becomes a nightmare with this comp. Now, because his team didn't have any money and someone needed to make a play, Sayo player took a big risk and pushed down mid as soon as the round started, almost winning his team this unlikely thrifty.
That Stinger can find value, and it does. Izu also able to find something. There's the showstopper. Doesn't go deep enough. He could have had them both. Izu, that could end up costing him the round because he's not able to find the headshot there with the Guardian. Rossi, however, finds Forsaken. Pushing in, knew that they're both in backside, but Mind Freak.
And now Paper X are headed B again, but this time with the help of a drone. But T1 aren't letting the site fall again. Rossi rips his Viper's Pit, clogging up main, but Forsaken is already up mid.
Brothers over in EMEA as well.
True.
And now they're on opposing sides. As Forsaken spotting him out, Pagell's coming down. He's trying to jump out, but a little too aggressive. Rossi ready for that one. Something does manage to find the kill, however. Picking him down now, looking to entry down onto the site. As the flashes come flying, carving around the box, eventually does fall. It's actually Yett coming up with the kill.
Because Yoru's ult turns him into an invincible, invisible drone that can also flash enemies, Jett was able to quickly, but safely, scale up mid while focused on this smoke. Forsaken then tried pinching main and started pinging Viper's exact position, and Raze naded her, but Yoru barrel stuffed himself into a rifle. And right as Yett thought that they couldn't make it through this noxious gas, something backstabbed Rossi, who, because of the Yoru ult, was forced out of his ult. Jett started calling his team back to the now open site, and Devi finds another lure kill shortly after. Despite not having any reconnaissance, Paper X are using what little info they have work. But Devi gets traded, and something tries to get his trade.
Izu managing to stay alive, and oh boy.
2 versus 2. Armed with another op, Sayo player has to take his time walking through spawn. But Omen gets an idea.
Holds on to that operator. Mind Freak, he's in the garage.
Jago kami minta. Bisa beta mo.
Izu makes his presence known here.
Loras mo kayo nga.
Enggak. Go deflank ka.
Heading new box.
Check. After ratu.
He's trying to clear
Yeah,
out
it's okay. He's up.
Feels kinda
They were
missing
a
out
little
on that
short.
opportunity.
Yep.
I caught the timing run.
Just holding Patsai,
Nice.
not looking.
Bila maybe.
Walks right into the crosshair.
Abarca, buat kiri dulu.
Now it's all on Izu.
Nice!
Paper Rex stuck to the same game plan as before, stall. Because the op couldn't push through the smoke, Mindfreak was able to use his ult to reposition through B main and make his way up mid and still be able to contest the defuse with this plant. To us, this would look obvious, but again, T1 isn't watching a Teets video. They're playing the game live. Omen could have gone into their spawn, mid, stayed main, or just canceled it altogether and played some devious mind games. T1 have slapped out of it, stepping up the defense. Viper had a sick anchor job, punishing Paper Rex's poor spacing, and then they finally put a stop to the constant lurking after getting destroyed by it for a few rounds. Then Paper Rex had to half-buy and got wrecked by an Astro Wall that I'm going to break down in a future video. But in just the blink of an eye, the Three Stooges have their backs up against the wall, facing match point. Their final stand starts in a 2-1-2 default, but that's quickly broken up by T1's three-person B main take. Nade, one-way smoke from Astra, and despite getting blinded, the defense commits to this map control. The offense backs off, heads towards mid, not wanting to run into a majority of the defense and start to group up to go slam A, since B was probably being contested by multiple people. And I think Yoru was setting up a double fake by sending his gate crash and lining up his decoy for main. You know, fake A, then B, then back to A? But it doesn't matter. For the first time this game, T1 push past B main and are in enemy territory. After flashing through, Sky rips her Seekers. And these stall Paper X's A hit. They think to themselves,
Ooga booga, cabbage bad. They tell enemy we hit A. Destroy the cabbages.
Story here. Paper X's positions. As they clear this out, something in a rough spot. Might have to dash across, but he's not given the opportunity. Yet's going to be taken down simultaneously.
2 of Paper X's 3 duelists go down. And after seeing 3 defenders push through market, Yoru and Omen get the green light to sprint through A main, smoke heaven, spawn. Omen uses his ult to clear sight, and they get the spike down. But there's still so much work to do. Someone needs to make a play. Rossi Molly spawned to keep them contained, so Omen teleports into heaven. Yoru flashes for him. No one's there. They're all coming through spawn.
3 city, one more city, side already. The rest inside.
Passing elbow.
Viper there, Duelist.
Viper there. Astra there.
Don't see, on this. Nice! Elbow!
Together.
Nice!
Let's go, run!
Oh, Nexa, run! Woo!
Because all of T1 funneled through screens, Mindfreak felt safe to sit Heaven and spray down 2 through a smoke. He then flashed for Forsaken to catch the one who got away, and then Skye trickled out while Devi held down the flank. This is why when retaking on Split, you can't just go through one choke point. You at the very least need to come out of 2, retaking one piece of the map at a time before collapsing on site. If you don't, you're going to run into some heavy crossfires and lose. So while this aggressive push put T1 in the driver's seat, their retake might have cost them the game. The game's all tied up, and Paper Rex are starting on defense. But we're about to see one last saving grace to their comp. T1 are sticking to their game plan we witnessed in the first half. Give Sire player an op, and let him farm. They're taking B main with 4 players, while Viper secures space outside of A, while Paper Rex start with the bulk of their defense over there as well. But that's changing. Quick. T1 kick overtime off with their paint shells to prevent a B main peek. And if you look closely, Paper Rex were expecting a ramp take as Yoru started with his back turned playing anti-flash, and maybe his decoy would go out if T1 took ramp. But this nade has ruptured a rotate from the defense. Raze sprints through spawn, and Yoru activates his gate crash. Remember, the defense don't have any reliable ways to get info, so they have to rotate off this noise, or call the offense's bluff. And do you remember how I said this comp needs map control?
Here into the smoke, but it's such a heavy stack. There's a flash out. He manages to transfer on a 2. Gate crash out the safety.
Just like that, Paper Rex have main, the player advantage, and it's all thanks to these 2 flashes. Covering every bit of space, T1 were not ready for this on-the-fly re-clear of main. And because Yoru can be on either site in the blink of an eye, Paper Rex consistently have players across the map ready to take duels and take space. With these peaks, they can have a solid idea of where the offense is headed, despite not having a sentinel or initiator. Had B main been empty, the defense would have rotated off and stacked elsewhere. And now, I don't care what comp you're playing against. Just, what are you doing now if you're T1?
Because you're Forsaken.
Yeah, only him.
Mindfreak now, tucked away in backside. Gets himself up onto the box. This is such an aggressive position to take as the smoke dissipates. Forsaken finds a third. Ooh, Carpe with the operator in hand. I've seen him clutch many a time with a sniper in hand, but this one I think might be a bridge too far, but have I spoken too soon? Seeker's now built up Divine, getting himself over here towards the site. Everything to do, swings aggressively over top of the snake bite. Vulnerable down to 55, something on the corner, and Divine in heaven above him. It seems like such an impossible position, and it is.
Paper Rex have 3 duelists, it's been a bunch of rounds, I have like 15 more games I want to break down, they're going A. But when you have this much firepower, sometimes taking site just isn't enough. And T1 are expecting something fast and explosive. Jett's playing backside in an off angle before dashing into a safer spot. These 2 are playing on ramp, with the Star ready to punish a quick ramp take, while Viper and Raze are ready to combo their snakebite paint shells and deal massive amounts of damage. But Paper Rex are headed straight for the only open gap. Boombot to clear close, smokes, dash, flash, gate crash, 1 fish, 2 fish. This Dr. Seuss comp has taken site with barely any effort. And after realizing that no one's here, Paper X have decided that they need to push further. The 3 Musketeers start pushing into spawn, smoking really deep, because Viper ended up using her poison orb to smoke heaven so that Mindfreak could smoke here, knowing that Sire player's been opping. So doing this will cut him off from his team.
Yeah, they're
I'm
taking
only out for you guys.
Asok na ako
Okay,
ya.
sumo.
I got city, don't worry.
They're gonna come, Ron. They're gonna come. Amen, boys. Mag-play again.
Jett city,
One
OP.
city.
City hopping and heaven.
Nice.
Come on, after.
Nice, city last OP. OP last, chill guys.
After wrapping heaven, Saya did great to clean up, but this triangle crossfire setup on site was just too strong to punch through. Plus this smoke, and the op decides to save. Oh wait, it's the last round!
Save, tamo.
Let's go, boys.
Holy
Now if you want to see this comp epically fail, watch this video here.